Okay, so I've made some postings. So let me just quickly run through them. So when you will click course outline, uh, this page will come. At the bottom of the page. There are two things. One is reading list and one is a Twitter handle. So if you will click the reading list, uh, this is something which I liked. So it's like 15 page and quite a few of readings are mentioned in this. It is a different course, but I think that you can look at these readings like artificial intelligence, big data. They have given you some, some things which you can run a search on and find the articles and maybe look at them. Yeah. So this is a different course which I saw online, but I liked the reading list. It's very nice. The things are compiled in a very nice way. Interaction with robots, the truths we reveal about ourselves. Yeah. So Rana, if you have access to databases in your university where you find research articles, I think that is what you would have to use, because maybe not all articles would be available just by a Google search. So databases, your university databases, use those and ask your library if you are finding, if you are not used to finding. I'm not sure if you guys, how do you do that? Do you look into research articles using databases or not? But nothing to worry about. Just ask your library that you want these articles, how to find them, and they will guide you. University libraries have access, so just write them an email and they will guide you how to find them. And also, ask them, for example, this one, how artificial intelligence will redefine management. Yeah. So Zora is coming from management background, so this article is something which she would want to look at. But other friends also, because you guys are coming from computer science background, you would want to know that, how, what is the impact on management. And this is coming from Harvard Business Review. It's a very nice publication. So you should look into these things. Big Data and Management, Academy of Management Journal, and so on. Yeah. So again, it is a different course, but I liked the way they have organized the reading list, and I did not want to just, I was okay that let me just show you the course in itself. I did not want to make my own list and then take credit for that. The credit goes to the person who made this thing. For example, this one, big data to drive supply chain. Yeah, all of these things are linked. Artificial intelligence, data sciences, we were speaking about that. So this is a very nice thing to, review over a period of time. It's not that you need to do it today. Just take your time, and not all articles are for you. See where your interest is. Like for example, this one, artificial intelligence in service. Any type of service you are going to provide, how it is going. Yeah, so let me not spend time on this. You guys can look into this, and it is quite, updated. It is a updated reading. Yeah, you are looking at 2018 till 2018 at least. Yeah, so this is very nice reading. Take your time to go through that, uh, read them, and that is how it's very fascinating reading. So please do that. Yeah, so this is at the, when you will click course outline at the bottom of that page, this is the reading list. Yeah, and then this is a Twitter handle which I like. So it gives you, it's AI world, and I really like this Twitter. Although there are so much information available on Twitter, but this one is very nice. It gives you updated. You can see what is, like for example, 16 July they have posted, AI has boosted voice NLP, allowing it to better assign meaning. Yeah. So these type of, articles are will be there. You can, Facebook battling hate speech with AI, gets a critical review of its civil rights practice, and so on. Yeah, just, follow the handle, or you don't have to follow it, just tag it. I just tag the things I don't really follow. So I just tag it, and every now and then, after like after a month, or after 20 days, or after 2 months, when I'm kind of, bored and I want to see what is happening, and I have a free time, I would just go there, scan through it, see if I like something, I will read it. And that's how how it should be. So please look into these things in your own time, of course. Yeah. And then some postings I have made. When once you will click lectures, as you should be familiar now, this page is going to come. So we are kind of done with AI for this one, master the basics, but I will keep on adding to this, as I told you yesterday. So I'm just going to highlight quickly a couple of things which I uploaded. So in the third section, which is issues, concern, and ethical considerations, this page will open. So I have added this. It is Stanford by Stanford Ethics and AI. Yeah, extremely nice piece. Ethics of AI and robotics. And it is quite new, 30th of April 2020. So go through this one. Yeah, it's very not. I'm not posting things which are, which has like difficult or anything like that. It's an introductory AI course. It is not about anything, very difficult. So look into this. Automation and employment, human robot interaction, bias in decision making. Scan through these type of things. Very authentic, place, Stanford. So it gives you a very nice on the top. And then I have also added this second link, which you can see here, UNESCO. So when you will click this is going to open. Elaboration of a recommendation on the ethics of AI. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Yeah, UNESCO, you must be familiar with or you must have heard the name. But even if you have not heard, that is okay. So elaboration of a recommendation on the ethics of AI. Yeah. So very interesting examples of ethical dilemmas. Yeah, look into these things. For example, autonomous cars, what are the dilemmas in that? AI creates art, what are the dilemmas in that? You will see like art, like copyright issues. When AI creates some art, who gets the copywriting? That type of thing. Yeah. So uh, and we also kind of briefly spoke about a couple of ethical dilemmas, like you are in a car, um, one side children are there, other side two adults are there, where will crash the car, those type of. So those are dilemmas. AI in the court of law, that's very interesting. So you should look into these type of things. Yeah. And then explore other things on the website and take your time and go through this. Like for example, UNESCO launches worldwide online public consultation on the ethics of artificial intelligence. Yeah, quite interesting things. Call for application, online youth dialogue on the ethics of artificial intelligence. We have missed the deadline. So bad. 7th to 9th of July. So look into this one. For example, let's look at this. Let's open this. Call for applications. It seems like they had any call and we could apply for that. Call for application, online youth dialogue on ethics of 7th to 9th of July. Yeah. So look into this. Uh, Interested candidates aged between 15 to 24 years should register by sending the filled form below no later than 3rd July to this. And then online meeting would come and people would go and discuss, what are some of the, ethics of artificial intelligence. You will listen to other people, you might, but we have missed the deadline, but nothing to worry about. These type of website will keep on, posting these type of things. So you should take note of this. This is, I think, very interesting. Alejandro seems to have some problem.
Hello,
Might
hello.
be.
Yes, sorry. I am having some issues with the network today.
Okay, no problem, no problem. But uh, you are missing couple of things which are very interesting. So I was just taking them through this one, module 3, AI issues
Mhm.
concern. When you click this, on the top of this, you are seeing these couple of links. So I was looking at this UNESCO, and when you click this one comes up. So in this one, as I
Okay.
was telling them, I saw this thing, call for application, online youth dialogue on ethics of artificial intelligence. So what I was saying, when you click this will come up. Yeah. So
Okay,
we have
thank you.
a deadline this time, but I was saying that these type of activities can be very interesting for you guys, that you can just it says interested candidates aged between 15 to 24 should register by sending the filled form below no later than 3rd of July. But I am saying we have missed the deadline, but you should get involved into these type of things. It is not hard. You will just register. There will be other friends from all over the world, and you will be talking about ethics, and you will be listening to them and that type of thing. So these type of activities I was saying that you should look into. And before that, if you missed, I was saying that course outline, when you click this one at the bottom of the page, this is a very nice reading list. So I was taking them through that. Look into this reading list, very interesting articles. Speak with your library if you don't know how to find them. And that is what I was saying. And Twitter handle, I was saying this is very nice, follow it, or see every now and then what is happening on that. So that these are the things which I was saying. Okay.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much.
No problem, no problem. And keep in touch with, if there is any problem with your internet, keep in touch with other friends, Diago and Zora and Miguel, and they can also tell you if you miss something which is maybe important. But everything is on the website. I'm sure you can look into in your own time also. So this new article I have added, yeah, under bias. Yeah, so let's quickly scan through it. Very interesting article. Artificial intelligence has a gender bias problem. Yeah, gender bias. Siri, you guys are familiar with this. So this article, short article, explains you what are some of the problems in the gender bias and so on. So please find time to quickly scan through this type of reading. Other things I have told you yesterday, the things I updated in the supplementary yesterday. I told you that future of communication. I have posted around 3 hours long lecture, so you can look into this. I am adding other things under supplementary. So keep an eye on those. For example, AI international relations, totally different thing. Yeah. So if you click this, it will show you that how international relations, diplomacy, those type of things, cooperation between different countries, how that can be impacted by AI. Very short article, but it gives you nice information. What are the things can happen? AI and medicine. Yeah. If we click this, I've made couple of postings. For example, psychiatry. Yeah, psychiatry. If you look at that, mental health, artificial intelligence could help solve America's impending mental health crisis. Very short, very nice article. It gives you a links to 2017 report right here. You can scan through that. This is very interesting clip. Let's maybe watch it a little.
Grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
Speak louder, Stevie.
Louder.
That's
That's
better.
good.
Got a lot of old people here with hearing problems.
So I turned down the volume just in the interest of time. Let me explain you what is happening. These are elderly people, and they are in some place, and this is a robot, and it is entertaining them, talking to them, and so on. You can watch the clip in your own time, and it's a short clip, but because I want to move on, that's why I'm not spending so much time on this. So it's quite interesting, like elderly, mental health, older people who don't have friends maybe, or find it challenging to make friends, all of those things. These type of and think about it, it's quite interesting from that angle. So you can look into this in your own time. Yeah. So this is psychiatry. Yeah. uh, and then COVID-19, I briefly spoke about COVID, that AI must be doing something for what, for COVID-19, how AI is helping fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah. So look into these type of things. China, they are talking about how they maybe used it and stuff like that, and some figures they are giving, very interesting figures, what was happening, and so on. So again, look into these things. Disease surveillance AI, virtual healthcare assistant chatbots, diagnostic AI, facial recognition and fever detector AI, and they do it very fast. And they can do it to a lot of people they could facial recognition could be done to a lot of people in a crowd simultaneously, and we're going to talk about that also. I think that is very interesting. So again, facial recognition could be done to a crowd, a lot of people simultaneously. Is not that interesting? So fever detection, all of those can be done simultaneously in a crowd. All of those things, yeah. So that's very interesting. Intelligent drones and robots. Of course, you will have to, take time and digest information and have your own pace, and so all of this will take time. I don't think you will be able to look into all these things by the end of our 2 weeks. That's not possible, and that is not required. Yeah, that is not required. But the thing is that do take time to go through them, and so on. Okay, so that was number 3, and in number 4, which is this future with AI and so on, I have added couple of things. Let me show you. So at the bottom of that page, which was the future with AI and AI in action, I have added this article. This is very interesting. It gives you some idea. AI, where are we now? Where do we stand now? Yeah, we have spoken about so many things, but what is the reality? What are the things AI is doing, and what are the things, current situation? Read. Can AI read? An AI powered system called bot that can read and summarize documents. Please take a moment to reflect on that. Do you need to really read if there is no substitute if you will read the book yourself, but maybe you don't want to read some book, but you want to know what is in it. So AI will read the book and give you a summary of that. Is not that interesting? Right. Many well-known news organizations rely on AI to write formulaic pieces, meaning that they give some instructions that this is how you are going to write. This is you are going to include, like using some formula and stuff like that. Yeah, and we gave some examples of that. And we also spoke that what are some of the challenges in that. Yeah, they posted, I think, wrong picture or something. C, AI powered machine vision is used by autonomous vehicles and for facial recognition, among others. Hear and understand. AI is used to detect gunshots and alert relevant agencies. Speak. Most of us have had verbal exchange with AI powered assistants like Alexa and Siri. This is now very interesting. Smell. AI researchers are developing systems that will use odor to detect illness. Take a moment to, smell is quite a thing in human beings. Smell is quite a thing. I was reading some research, psychology related, that we select our sexual partners, or whatever you want to call them, girlfriend, boyfriend, on based on their smell also. So we like their smell also, and if we don't like their smell, then things don't work out. That's very interesting, but we don't do it consciously. Do you smell people, like you go close and sniff them and smell like how they no, it's automatically nature. Yeah, that's quite interesting. But there is very interesting other research on smell and AI, which we will definitely, as I was saying, things will become more interesting once we have looked at these basic things, because I plan to show you examples and stuff like that. So smell, for example, perfume is a art, how to make perfume, and you need to really smell. But artificial intelligence is creating perfumes nowadays, and they are quite advanced. Artificial intelligence creating perfumes. Yeah, so think about that. Touch. There is a robot that can identify supermarket ripe raspberries and even pick them and place them into a basket. Can you believe that? Even human beings cannot sometimes, I would, I remember I would do some groceries and bring some things home, and my mummy would say that this you did not check before bringing, because this one is not good and this one is not ripe. And well, I said, this is the best I can do. Yeah, so think about that. I don't know if you have that type of experience, but a robot is going to touch and see if it is good or not, and only pick the ones which are ripe and good. Think about that. Move. AI powered reports, we know. Understanding emotion. Market research is being aided by AI tools that track a person's emotions as they watch videos. Yeah, play games. You guys familiar with it? Debate, conversation, holding conversation. Yeah, not to the big extent, of course, but I'm saying that this is where we are. These things are happening. Of course, there are challenges and stuff like that in that, but create art, create music, create poetry. We spoke about that briefly. Read your mind. Look at this one, and this is not fiction or anything. I have seen papers which I will show you later on as we go into next week maybe, where AI has the ability to, or scientists are working on creating this ability, and they are pretty close. They have done some successful experiments that they can read your mind, read your mind, read your thoughts without speaking. And this is not future. They have conducted successful experiments on that. Of course, it is introductory stage, but it's going to happen. Again, read your mind. Like, I look at you and I read your mind, and you don't say. So if I know what you guys are thinking right now, yeah, that's that's crazy. That's crazy. And then okay, you can look into these couple of things that there. And before I close, I'm going to show you, not maybe today, but going forward, I'm going to show you examples where I will show you that they can read mind. I will show you they can smell, and so on and so forth. So if you have any doubt, I will ensure that you don't have any doubt on that. Yeah, so it is going to be very, very interesting and exciting. And the last posting on under this, the future of with AI in action, this module 4. This is a clip. I was looking at it yesterday. I found it very interesting. It's linked with jobs and stuff like that. Pretty basics, but it kinds of a nice clip to put in the end of module 4. These are some of the updates I wanted to give you for the first section, AI for everyone, master the basics. As I continue to add more things, I will make the posting. But I do encourage you to that over the weekend. We still have Friday tomorrow, but after that, over the weekend, spend some time on the website and go through that and stuff, so that next week, if there is anything or something, we can have some discussions on that, and we can clarify any thoughts or any reservations or stuff like that. Yeah, that would be nice. Anyways, moving along, next thing we started was AI and Europe. Yeah, AI and Europe. So for that, I included the top one, the global context. So before you start looking at AI in Europe, you should have some understanding of global context, the AI industry and global challenges. Very interesting article. And it's not very old, just 6 7 8 months November last year it was posted, and the information or the numbers statistics are quite interesting. They are talking about Google, what they are doing, Facebook, different politics, they are talking about that. So in your own time, this is very interesting, national strategies and action plans in AI. Maybe you can look at it very clearly, but yeah, this one, European Union, Germany, China, France, these type of things are interesting to look at. uh, and look at this, the Israeli company, Israel is quite doing quite well in AI, so you should look into that. Quite a few interesting startups coming from Israel and stuff. So Israeli company, Mobileye was bought by Intel for 15 billion USD, 15 billion, and is just one example of a thriving AI ecosystem. Think about that. So if you can create some type of startup in AI and become very famous and very rich also. Yeah. Think about these things. But anyways, in your own time, so much data is given, so many examples are given. If I start talking about these, then we will spend all of our time in this one. So I don't want to do that. But the things I'm not looking in detail, these papers, is only because of the time limitation. Otherwise, they are very carefully selected papers, and they are very important. So don't think that because we are not looking in the session, then they are not important. It is not like that. Look at this. MIT alone is investing $1 billion in the training of new AI degree programs by 2020. Reflect on this, please. MIT is one of the top universities in the world. Top university in the world. And they are investing $1 billion in the training of new AI degree programs by 2020, which is this year. So maybe, but maybe because of pandemic and something, maybe something happens. So you can run a search and see what they are doing. Yeah. So that shows their investment of $1 billion shows that what is happening. So don't waste your time. Do something in this area as quickly as you can. Start something. Start some initiative and see how it goes. No matter how small it is, it does not matter. Like how I just started this thing. I just created some course, and I told you in the first session, I just send out the links to various universities and starting the conversation, and then see where it goes. Same way you should start something. Maybe start some website or something. Maybe coming from computer science background, maybe a little bit of a programming in AI using some language. Whatever that is fine. You don't have to when I will complete my PhD, then I will offer something. No, whatever put it on a website, offer it free of cost. Don't look for money or anything like that. Look for experience. Remember that clip, the guy said that experience is very important. We saw that yesterday, if you guys remember, that older guy. He was saying that experience. So just gain experience, meet new people, offer the thing, learn from them, and exchange of information. I think that is what you should do. All right, very interesting article, and then they start talking about Europe. Where does Europe stand in the global AI arms? Yeah, so you will have an understanding here, and challenges and rise of strong AI. All of these things, I'm sure you will enjoy. So that is I included this yesterday. on top. It was not there. So I thought that before you look at AI and Europe, maybe you should have a global context and understanding. These things I showed you yesterday, AI, different things, Switzerland, Poland. Yeah, these are the new things I have added for public sector. Yeah, public sector, private sector, AI strategies and public sector components. There is a PDF, you can look into this, quite elaborate, very nice chart to look at in different public sector in different countries. Argentina, you just have to click like this, new page will open. Australia, links are there. Extreme, wonderful website. Yeah, so let's look at Spain is there. All right. Okay, in March 2019, the government of Spain's Ministry of Science and Innovation University launched RDI strategy in AI. It is established on 6 priorities, 7 recommendations. These are the priorities, 6 priorities. One of them is analyze the AI ethics from the perspective of RDI. You can work on that. What is the problem? I don't see any problem. You can start writing on that. Write some short pieces, write some commentary, send it to newspapers, local newspapers, as a letter. You know, in the newspaper, letters are published of regular people. You send it, it will get published. No big problem. And people will read. You never know who will read your article if it is well written. Yes, and I'm sure you can write lovely article. The website is there. A lot of information is already there. You just have to read that and maybe write, and maybe 300 400 word letters are not long. Letter to the editor. Letters to the editor. Please tell me, you are aware of what I am talking? Letters to the editor, or no? You guys are there, or I?
I I don't usually write letters. I don't know if I can do something like that.
Sorry, Diago, what did you say? I did not hear you.
I say that I don't usually write letters. I don't know if I can do something right
Okay,
like
so
that.
you are writing me letters at the end of every session. What is that? That is not a letter.
Well, yes, I
It's a
don't know.
letter. It's a letter. You are writing me letter. That is a practice. Yeah, you are right. But of course, it is a short one, and it is not backed by research. But the way Miguel writes it like a letter. The way Miguel writes. Yeah. Yes, Miguel.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Miguel also adds something new for me to read. Always, he would add some link which I have not talked about. So he tells me, okay, I read this, I'm sharing it with you, or I read that, or that is how he would add the link, and then I will go in that link, and I will say, all right, very good. So that shows me that Miguel is reading something. Yeah. So that is a letter. So letter to the editor in your local newspaper. Send them, write a nice one. If they don't accept it, it is not published, don't worry. Improve the letter. Send it again. If they don't publish, don't worry. They will publish. It is just that it has to come to some certain, level, whatever. And I'm sure and you will be writing in Spanish. You won't be writing in English. Spanish is your native language. You can write well in that. Maybe there is no problem in your English also. It is perfectly fine. All of you guys I'm talking with. It's decent, but I'm thinking Spanish local newspapers. There might be so many. Just send the thing that ethics. This is how it should happen. This is what is the thing, and this is, look at this one. What I'm showing you. Uh, We were here. Spain, what are the things they are doing? This is one of the priorities they are saying. And 6 priorities, government of Spain has 6 priorities. One of them is analyze the AI ethics from the perspective of our RDI. Yeah, there is no problem. No problem at all. As a matter of fact, you try to write something on anything. It's not, I'm not saying that write on this. Yes, I just picked one randomly. You can see which one you like, and then take part in that. Send it to or your magazines. Different magazines are there in the university, different publishing opportunities. Just send them, and all of that thing it goes to your resume. Once it is published, you can add it in your resume, and over a period of time it will add. When you will send your resume to someone, they will know that, oh, this guy is writing something on this. But you don't have to do this. I'm just sharing my thought with you. Yeah, this is what you can. Slovenia, well, they don't have much over here, so you have to look what is happening. Slovakia, they have a website here, Slovak AI. Yeah, and look into this. Yeah, Singapore, lot of things. AI Singapore, go on this website. Fascinating things they are doing. Yeah, so get familiarized with these type of things. Yeah, it's very nicely done. And this is UK guide to use AI in the public sector. So look into this, how they are doing it, what are the things they are doing, statistics. Not nothing hard at all. Nothing hard. No big deal. See what are the things they are doing. Think, can Spain, Slovakia, Slovenia, any country, can you guys learn something from that? Write in a piece, hand it out, publish it. That type of thing, engage yourself with these type of give your suggestions, just like you give your suggestions in our discussions. You guys are always telling, maybe this is the way, and in your reflection also, the emails you send me, you are giving your point of view. So but in the letter, when you are writing to something or you are writing a paper, you have to just back it up. So you have to find some other papers which are saying the same type of thing, and then you say, all right, it is not just my opinion, it is someone else. And you don't have to do it individually. All of you can sit together, 3 people, 4 people, come together and write something jointly. That will be easy. More research you can do, more information, edit it, craft it, send it out. Yeah. That would be, I really think that you guys should do this, but it is up to you. It is so important that if I were doing a longer course with you, I would have asked you to do it like compulsory and put a score for this. If you are able to publish or not. Believe me, it is just because it is 2 weeks and I don't want to pressurize you. That is why. Otherwise, this would be your compulsory assignment with like 40-50% of the scores. That is what I would have done. This is how important it is. So now you can see what is what. Anyways, let's look at some examples in detail and then we will discuss them. So we're going to watch 2 clips. Watch them carefully. Either with us, or you can go on the website. This is where I am now, AI and Europe. Yeah.
The most cutting edge thing about Hannes Huerblad isn't the phone in his hand, it's the microchip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is the latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions. Sweden is a very tech-rich society. And I think this is the main explanation, really, why a lot of Swedes are adopting chip implants.
Swedes haven't been shy about upgrading themselves with the new version. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID, or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine. This event is an implant party, simply where ordinary people can show up and get a microchip embedded under their skin. The biohacking movement in Sweden is hosting them all over Europe, but it's at home where they get the most willing recipients.
I think it's really cool. You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
In Sweden, more than anywhere else, the future is already here. The national train company SJ has around 2,600 people signed up to use microchips instead of train tickets. And no need to mind the generation gap. 18-year-old Felicia and father Magnus still bear the scars of their new implants. Student Hannah Herving is also freshly chipped and now just needs to program it to open doors. Although importantly for a future career, it does already connect to her LinkedIn.
Some people say mad that I don't know if it's safe and all that, but people have been putting these chips into animals for 20 years, so I'm not worried about that.
The long-term goal is for the new chips to help provide medical care in remote communities. They're already getting under the skin of the Swedes and may soon become just another normal part of modern life and of the human body. Paul Rees, Al Jazeera, Lund, Sweden.
So we watched one clip about Sweden. We're going to watch one more, and then we will talk about both of them together.
The legal space so that technology is comfortable here. For example, in Estonia, you can see on the streets package delivery robots. They walk here. Our people are currently learning how to live in the world where some of us are people, some of us are cars, and some of us are robots, which is a hugely valuable lesson. In the rest of the developed world, people rely on digitalized services in the private sector. In Estonia, this is also true for government. 99% of our services are delivered online. We have given our people digital passports, digital IDs, and they can use it for all kinds of services.
Estonia might be a new country, but it's doing big things when it comes to bringing technology and government into lockstep. And they're calling it e-Estonia.
1 and 2, and 1 and 2. You're good.
You think so?
Yeah, you're natural.
All right, one sentence. What is e-Estonia?
I think it's an ecosystem where private and public sector both work together to providing these complex services for the people. You need both sectors to work together. It can't be only private sector or only government.
Yeah. Whoa!
Whoa!
So that sounds like the theory, right?
No, it's right. It's a practical thing. Do you know how many tax lawyers are in Estonia?
How many?
Or we can do internet voting and things like that. We basically solve
internet voting.
Yeah, voting over the internet.
Huh.
I can show you like how can I track my children at school. Here's an app. You can see my son here against the class and like top 5, so not bad.
And this is like a public school.
Yeah, I mean it's mandatory. Every school has to have a system.
Since the days of the Soviet space program, Estonia has been a tech hub. And since their independence in 1991, technology has been baked into its institutions, especially education.
Täna me räägime sellisest asjast nagu 3D printimine. vaata, mis on kõik sellega võimalik teha. Ma saadan ringi ka käima, et saate vaadata ja annan sõbrale edasi. Ühesõnaga, sellega on võimalik teha mustmiljon toredaid asju.
In lots of Estonian schools, there are 3D printers.
Really?
Just to print out, this is easy. There are lots of designs, but they have to design by themselves something.
Mm-hmm.
This is important, to be a creator, not only consumer.
Arvata, et see on tema aju. See on sama kui mingi, me võtaks oma aju kuskilt, võtaksid nagu pea sees, võtaks niimoodi.
So these kids designed little shapes on a computer, and now they're watching their shapes be printed on a 3D printer. This is an education that, frankly, it's hard not to be a little jealous of.
They're even thinking about the bigger implications of algorithms and autonomous robots. Martin Kavetz is the country's digital advisor.
We're the first country in the world that can operate our whole sovereignty from the cloud. In case of occupation, we run it from Luxembourg.
Wow.
So if you look at Estonia and the digital society we have built, most fundamental innovations are not technological, but they are legal innovations.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that the digital identity is mandatory for all people. The idea that the digital signature is equal to the paper one. These are very simple, robust legal innovations.
The secret to Estonia's future-proofing is the database of personal information the government safeguards. At birth, the government issues every citizen a unique ID number. But unlike a social security number, Estonians don't mind if theirs is made public.
So we're at a delivery floor in Estonia where newborns are immediately plugged into the digital society as soon as they're born. Have you guys picked out a name?
Steven.
Stephen. Oh, hi. Hey, little Stephen. So this is the ID number right here. This is Stephen's number for life.
Yeah.
There it is. And then that gets uploaded to the government database?
Yes.
Wow.
Add newborn here.
Right there, boom. Add newborn. So you just hit a plus button and that's how you add a person to the country. That's so funny.
It's hard to say if US citizens would trust their government with all their secrets. But to Estonia's leadership, data is the future of personal identity. And so the basic role of government must shift to ensure data safety as much as physical safety.
All governments say we protect the data you have given to us, yet how they guarantee it? So if somebody from police is looking into my data, I will be notified and I can query why they did it.
Really?
Yes, and that guarantees I really, truly own my data. This is the way the digital, transparent and honest state works.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed both the clips. One was about Sweden, the other one was about Estonia. Yeah, what are your comments? Please make comments. What did you like? What did you not like? What can be some of the issues? What can be some of the challenges? Ethical issues? Anything, whatever you have to say. Please go ahead.
Well, I don't know if we implant the microchips, if it can affect to our health. I don't know. I don't know if it's dangerous to our health have microchips.
I don't think so, because
Alejandro, can you repeat what did Diego said? I could not really get.
If it is dangerous for our health to have microchips implanted.
Okay. Yeah. So that can be a concern. But in the clip, they said that the girl said that they have been doing it for 20.
For animals, like 20 years.
Yeah, 20
yes.
years.
No, I mean, I do believe it in the skin, isn't it? Like, not compromising, like, it's just in the skin. So, and I do believe there are like really tiny microchips. So
but still what Diago is saying is a point that you want to, it is inserted in your body. So although we saw it, how many of you are comfortable that please raise your hand if you think, or say yes, that you will be okay, that are you okay with implementing putting that chip in your hand? Who is okay?
I will do it.
I will do it. All right.
I would do it.
Miguel, you going to do it?
I want. No.
Or see, 2-2. So my vote is deciding vote. It will make 3-2. But look at this. It's quite a thing which he's saying. Health concern are there. Yeah, please go ahead. Yes, Diago, you have to say something else also.
It looks so uncomfortable. If the microchip breaks or something, I don't know.
Yeah, but outside of microchip, any other points which you would want to talk about? That is decent point. That yes, that can be concern for some people that they don't want to maybe. But as you are thinking, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to say that I really like the microchip idea because I think it makes things so much easier, because the way I look at it is that we already carry a cell phone with us all the time, which also some people think is bad for your health if you have it on your body or in your pocket all the time. Okay, those are maybe a little conspiracies, but just to mention that. So I think if you have the microchip, it's just an easier way of like paying and being able to open doors or whatnot, cars, whatever, because we already have a device that does that. We can pay with our phone, we can open doors, whatever, set the lights in the house, whatever. So I think the microchip is just an easier way to kind of transform what we already do with the phone and have it like in an easier way. I think it's a good idea. I would personally be very down for that. Like I would really want to have like a microchip to do that. I think it's cool.
Yes, it is. Indeed, it is. But what I'm trying to say is that no matter what we say, Diago and Miguel might not want to do it still, because they have their reservations about this. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead, please. Any other thing? Talk about different. There are so many things in the clips. Let's discuss them. Go ahead.
Like I was going to talk about the second one. Like it's really amazing how in some countries they're trying to develop like digitalization, and if you compare with, like, for example, in Spain, we are in Europe and we don't like we are using like our ID, electronic ID, like few times, or and over there they are using microchips, implants, they have robots in the streets, so it is, and they are not so far from here, so it's like a good exercise of thinking, like, what are we doing here?
And Zora would agree for her country also, that what are we doing there, and I would agree
Yes,
for my country that
yes.
what are we doing here?
Yes, in Slovakia, the technology advances are not very good at all. We're very far behind in a lot of ways.
But these are good things for us, that that means we have more opportunities in our countries to see what are some of the things we can do. So for Sweden, the chips, the chip was, they were anything, even you saw that when the guy was going in the lift, the elevator, he just put his thumb or his wrist there, and there you go. In the ride of the rail, it was that. And it's quite interesting that all the activities you can imagine, it is, you don't need any physical card, you can just use that chip, and you won't lose it. Sometimes that happens, we misplace our keys, or we don't remember where we put our shades, or something like that. But with this, it is always there. So that is positive, but there is also negative of this, that now you will be traceable. All the activity, whatever you do, good activities and bad activities. All of us, sometimes do some things which we don't want other people to know. That is our little secret. So then that because of that thing, we will know what Alejandro did, and we will know all the things which Zora does in her life, but we won't know what Diago is doing and what Miguel is doing for that. So that.
But isn't it the case already? Aren't we traceable all the time? Anyways, I think the chip really doesn't make any difference. Okay, I don't. Okay, if anyone or no, let's say if Diego or whoever doesn't want to get it, that's fine. But we are already so traceable with the phones and with the cars and with the technology. We have a smartphone who can connect with your car. It knows which car is yours. It knows where your home is. It will tell you, okay, you'll be home in 10 minutes. You'll be, I don't know, at school in 5 minutes, whatever. So we're already so traceable. It doesn't, in my opinion, really make any difference because you carry your phone when you're doing those illegal activities. Anyways, I don't suppose that anyone is doing, like, just going out without their phone. Everyone is going out with their phone, even if they're doing bad stuff. So in my opinion, we're so traceable anyways. It doesn't really make that much of a difference in my personal, but maybe some people do bad stuff and leave their phones at home. I don't know. I'm just saying my personal opinion that we're already so traceable by our cars, by our computers, by our phones, and all the technology we carry with ourselves every day. So the chip is just, in my personal view, an extension basically of your phone. To me, it seems that way.
Absolutely correct, and that is where I wanted to go. And thanks, Zora, for bringing that, saying that from your side. I really appreciate it. Other thing which can stop is the mental block. Now it's a mental block that do we want to do it, or it's more about mental. Just like driving a driverless car, self-driving car. Do you want to sit in that or not? What is that? It's mental block. So that mental block, how to get rid of that? Even we are in 2020. We are not in like this is 2020 and it is almost done. We are in July right now. Before you know, it will be 2021. Before we know, it will be 2030. Time flies. You know that. Yeah. So think about that. Even in this time, people will behave differently. They no matter how eloquent you sound or how you make your case, still there will be a lot of people who are maybe not comfortable with that, and you don't want to maybe force this thing, and maybe you cannot even force it. That is the culture of the society, whole society. So somewhere you need to give credit to the people of Sweden also, that yes, government is coming, but they are also very open, and they are also okay, that all right, let's try that. They are also so that it's coming, it has to come from both sides if a country need to advance. Government will have policies, just like they were saying that digital signature is equal to the physical signature with the pen. It's equal. Those laws and regulations government can make, but then the confidence of the people, that is also very important, and it can be very hard sometimes, especially in democratic societies where you vote. So people have the power to vote. So the people who come in election or government, they don't want to do anything to make people uncomfortable. So think about this: if the political leader of Spain, let's say that they want to implement it, but now they find that out of 3 Spanish friends, one is saying yes, 2 are saying no. If he implements this, Diago and Miguel is not going to like him. They are going to vote for someone who is going to say, well, it is up to you. Those type of challenges are there. Yeah. So it's quite a complex situation. If you are talking about the laws and if you guys remember, Alejandro said that way back, like in the second session or something like that, that the legal issues, and these are big thing in all of this AI and so on. If you guys remember that, so chips and let's talk about Estonia also. That was very interesting. There are so many things in the clip, but somehow I think you guys focus went into that chip, the implant, of course, because of the exciting nature of that. So in the second clip, if you can recall, Estonia, the class the guy who was explaining the situation in Estonia to the reporter, he took his mobile phone, and in his mobile phone he showed him that his child is among top 5 in the class in terms of participation and all of that. So he was able to track live, real time, how the child is performing in the class. That is quite fascinating, real time application. Yeah. So think about it. You guys are in this session, and let's say that you have some chip or something, and your parents outside. I think Alejandro's father or someone came in to check if he's working hard or not, or he's just uh, playing games or something like that. But this they won't have to come, and they would just on their phone they will know that what is happening. They will know how much activity is going on in the brain. There are things like that. I'm going to show you shortly those things also. Think about that, how interesting that can be. And whole class atmosphere, think about that. The children were using 3D printing. Have you used that in your school? I have not used that. Yeah, so imagine we were making the drawings, paintings of different houses and art class and whatever, but imagine there was a 3D printer and we could just put the thing in, and how exciting that is. Legal thing we spoke about, but I don't want to speak about these things. You guys, anything stands out for you, or you think that is it?
I like the way that they were educating the children, because it makes you more close to technology, and I think it makes you more creative and so on. I think it's nice.
Very interesting. These activities, they make you more creative, and for the future of the world, AI, Internet of Things, 5G, all of those are going to require creativity, and creativity is one thing which will distinguish us from artificial intelligence. So these techniques are in the class. They will make the students more creative, and they will be able to deal with the future of AI, which will come in maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Slowly it will build. So I think that is good enough discussion on this one. We can move.
I agree with Miguel, because here in Spain, for example, we used to memorize all the things in the school and not so practice. It's for me, I think it's a very bad idea here in Spain, but in Estonia it looks so good to learn new things like that.
Prepare people for the future. I think that's the idea of schooling, isn't it?
Very
I wanted
good.
to say, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say that I like the 3D printing and that, but I really don't like the monitoring of the children. I think that's a bit problematic actually, because no, but that's like, think about it, you're being monitored and there's so much pressure being put on those children. It's not gonna be good in the long run. I don't know. I don't like that. That really is, that strikes a nerve with me. I don't know. I don't like overly monitoring anyone or anything, and like I think that's like an infringement of their personal freedom, and I don't know if parents should be able to have such a big power over their children, like to be monitoring them all the time in a certain way, like how they're doing. Like, I don't know, you get grades in school, okay, so there is some grading and stuff, but like on an app always checking, I don't know if that's the best idea. I personally wouldn't probably do it.
I agree with the point, but at the end, it's more about like how are you like a father? Because okay, nowadays maybe there is no like this easy way to monitorize your children, but maybe you can go like every week to talk to the teacher or call into the school, like, so it depends more like how are you, like how do you treat your children or this stuff.
But if some children once, but in school it o sea, it's more easy to help them to improve in their studies. I don't know. I think it's.
Oh yes, yes, it is. It can be quite helpful, very helpful. As a matter of fact, it's too bad I don't have those devices. Otherwise, I would have sent them to you guys, and you would be wearing them right now, and I would know what is your brain activity. But think about this. Like our friend who was okay with putting the chip in her body is not okay with monitoring the child. Yeah, go ahead.
Because that is my body and I'm making the decision for myself, and the child is not able to make the decision for herself because it is a child. And you as a parent should, protect the child from and keep it from harm's way. And if you're able to make such a big decision, you're making for other person who cannot decide for themselves. Okay, if they're 18 and they want to be monitored, go ahead, I don't care, you're an adult. But if you're a child and you're forcing your child to live a certain way, and you're forcing your child to be chipped or something like that, that is, I don't know, that's a little, that's not clear. It doesn't have clear boundaries. I think that depends on where your viewpoint of like what is someone's privacy, what is their freedom. It's the same question if you think about it. Is it okay these days if moms put the photos of their children on Facebook, like their child is like 1 month old, 3 months old, 3 years old, and they're putting all these pictures on Facebook, but the child cannot consent, Can the child consent? No, they can't because they're a child. But these pictures are on the internet forever of them, and they might not want to have these pictures on the internet, like embarrassing pictures. I don't know, you know. Is it okay? Is it not okay? That's an ethical question that is very relevant these days for a lot of parents, in my opinion. So it's the same kind of principle. Is it okay to post pictures of your child without their consent? Is it okay to monitor them without their consent because they can't give the consent because they're a child? Again, you see? And that kind of depends on your viewpoint as a parent.
Absolutely, absolutely. And but think about these. This is challenging. This is challenging. Yeah, you can't some same technology, but people can have different opinion on different ways in AI. For different stakeholders. For themselves, it is different. For their children, it can be different. So it's not black and white. It's quite complex, and we are a small group, only 4 friends in the group. Think about a bigger society, how challenging it can be, and then to form something which is same for for everyone. Uh, that that can be a challenge. What were you drinking, Alejandro? You made me thirsty right away. That looked like a very nice orange juice.
Yes, it is. It is.
Ah, I'm so thirsty right now. All right. Okay, so for the same thing, we saw these two these two examples. I will see if I can post some more, but we had a decent discussion on that, and I'm very thankful for that. But think about these things. You have to, and then reflect on these things also. Public sector. I told you other things I spoke about yesterday. This clip I have asked you to look in your own time. It's very interesting, so do that. Last year was my first time of this course. This is the second time I am doing this course, artificial intelligence in business. So last year was my first time, and I did it in Netherlands. So, but I was able to go there. So it was face to face, not like online. So this is my first time online. So last year was the first time. And these are some notes from the things which I did there. So one was Rotterdam Seaport. It's very famous. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are familiar. So I made the posting of that, how Rotterdam is using AI on their vessel. Port of Rotterdam, AI vessel platform. Very interesting article. Yeah. So in that course, they had also planned, the school had also planned for excursion. So we were going out also and stuff like that. So this was one, Rotterdam. Then Philips. I had a chance to go to the Philips place, and the top guy came there for us, and he gave his speech, and I had a chance to interact with them and so on. So Philips, again, great company which is doing something on technology. So I have posted that link for you to view. Artificial intelligence in healthcare. Artificial intelligence is the great healthcare equalizer. So they are doing quite a few things. Yeah. So you can look into this and read in your own time and stuff. Volkswagen, again, the participants of the course, they had a chance to go there, and I have included that link. What inspired us at that time: Volkswagen teams up with IBM's AI for app to navigate cities. So Volkswagen is car company. IBM, as you know, is computer related company. So they kind of collaborated and they did this thing. And you will see that all the postings are from 2019 before summer. So because the session was in summer, so the postings are from before. But I'm sure that based on my interaction with these companies, I'm sure they are doing even more amazing things now. And all of them are Netherlands. It's Europe. So you should look into these things. And anytime you get a chance to go to visit any company which is using some type of technology, always avail that. Go there. You learn a lot just by going and listening to what are the things they are doing. Especially Philips. When I went there last year, I learned quite a few things. They were talking about amazing things in data sciences, and I had a chance to interact with those people, and I was asking them, how did you land this job? How did you get this job? Those type of conversations I had with them. So they were telling me about the process and how they prepared and so on. Yeah. So please reflect on these things. Very good. So as we just spoke about artificial intelligence, and you guys made some points, I think this clip is very timely to speak about that. So this is what I was talking about. If I had these, you see he's wearing something on his head. If I had these, you guys would be wearing that. So let's watch it.
红色是表示你专注力显示的很高。
Teachers at this primary school in China
蓝色是走神了。
know exactly when someone isn't paying attention.
白色就是你可能跟网络还没有连接好。
These headbands measure each student's level of concentration. The information is then directly sent to the teacher's computer and to parents. China has big plans to become a global leader in artificial intelligence. It has enabled a cashless economy where people make purchases with their faces. A giant network of surveillance cameras with facial recognition helps police monitor citizens. Meanwhile, some schools offer glimpses of what the future of high-tech education in the country might look like.
Good job!
Classrooms have robots that analyze students' health and engagement levels. Students wear uniforms with chips that track their locations. There are even surveillance cameras that monitor how often students check their phones or yawn during classes. These gadgets have alarmed Chinese netizens. But schools say it wasn't hard for them getting parental consent to enroll kids into what is one of the world's largest experiments in AI education. A program that's supposed to boost students' grades while also feeding powerful algorithms.
为了 就是国家的这个研究呀、发展呀，我觉得是没有问题的。
The government has poured billions of dollars into the project, bringing together tech giants, startups, and schools. We got exclusive access to a primary school a few hours outside of Shanghai. To see firsthand, AI tech is being used in the classroom. For this 5th grade class, the day begins with putting on a brain wave sensing gadget. Students then practice meditating.
现在想象我的眉心有一点柔和的光芒绽放。
The device is made in China and has 3 electrodes, 2 behind the ears and 1 on the forehead. These sensors pick up electrical signals sent by neurons in the brain. The neural data is then sent in real time to the teacher's computer. So while students are solving math problems, the teacher can quickly find out who's paying attention and who's not. A report is then generated that shows how well the class was paying attention. It even details each student's concentration level at 10-minute intervals. It's then sent to a chat group for parents.
就是他可以看到每个人的评分。
The reports are detailed, but whether these devices really work and what they exactly measure isn't as clear. We were curious if the headbands could actually measure concentration, so one of our reporters tried on the device.
但我没有感觉自己特别集中。
This is a new technology with still fairly little research behind it.
Theodore Zanto is a neuroscientist at the University of California, San Francisco. He was surprised that this tech, called electroencephalography, also known as EEG, is being used in the classroom on children. It's usually used by doctors in hospitals and labs.
EEG is very susceptible to artifacts, and so if you are itchy or just a little fidgety, or the EEG wasn't set up properly so that the electrodes didn't have a good contact, affects the signal.
Despite the chances for false readings, teachers told us the headbands have forced students to become more disciplined.
上课回答我的问题，就是他们的声音会比平常更响亮。
Teachers say the students now pay better attention during class, and that has made them study harder and achieve higher scores.
上课认真听讲，作业做的基本上是全对的。
But not all students are as enthusiastic. This 5th grader, whom we caught dozing off in class, told us his parents punish him for low attention scores. And that kind of data adds a new kind of pressure for students.
想啊，如果在一次考试全班人都考95分以上，就你考了一个85，你会不会感觉你有一种
Companies we interviewed said the data can go to government-funded research projects. We spoke to parents who were unclear about where the data ended up, and they didn't seem to care too much. Zanto says there's likely no privacy protection at all.
In a classroom, if you're trying to make an assessment of an individual student, you really can't anonymize it.
Experts and citizens alike are sounding alarms about various aspects of the country's huge push into artificial intelligence. These classrooms are laboratories for future generations. And while these new tools may potentially help some 200 million students raise their grades, just how this all works out won't be apparent until they become adult citizens.
Yes, guys, very fascinating stuff. What do you guys think? It is your time to speak on this. Please go ahead.
I think I don't like this type of technology. I think it's like controlling too much and reducing the kids to data, and they are not data. You know, it's like kids are more than a number of concentrating in class and so on. But maybe it's a mental block. I don't know.
Well, I do believe the same, and you know what? I don't remember the name of this neuroscientist. Like he said that there are too much variables to really know how much a person is indeed focused, or like if the electrodes are not in the place, or maybe if you have like you are trying to measure something that maybe it's not the real fact, and just because of that you are like punishing a child because the machine is saying that he's not focused, but maybe he is, or he's at his own way. Like, I do believe that there are some psychological facts between these things that I don't feel like good to do it.
I agree with Miguel and Alejandro, and I don't think it's a good idea to say the parents their son isn't focused and then punish them for it. It's like it should be used to help, not to punish some child. I don't know.
But guys,
Yeah,
it is not that bad, because see, Miguel
it
is wearing Miguel is wearing it, and his red light is on, and see, he's concentrating very well. So
I I personally really feel upset by this video because I really have already like big issues with China using artificial intelligence, because in my personal opinion, it is literally they're using it to oppress its citizens. They're not using it to monitor or better. They're literally having score systems with their citizens, if you know what they're doing, scoring people based on stuff they buy, scoring people based where they go, monitoring them 24/7, faces, whatever. There's so many issues I have with China and them using artificial intelligence, and this is just another way to oppress its citizens from the young age and kind of make them conform, make them kind of traceable from the young beginning, trace them at school, trace them at a preschool, trace them how they study, punish them, because punishing is a big thing in China. If you know about the scoring system, punishment, if you have low scores, is very severe. So I have a big issue with this and with China. It really makes my blood boil because it's so wrong and no one is doing anything about it. I don't know. Everyone's just like, oh, whatever. We'll make a video about like how this new technology is improving the classrooms, and those children are suffering every day because of the technology under a government that is oppressing them with this new technology, and just makes me really upset. And it also goes to show we should really pay attention now how the technology is being used and being developed, because if you just let's say put it to use in our classrooms and we don't think about how the data is managed, and if it's kind of stressing the children more than making them focused, it's kind of the cons are outweighing the pros, it will be too late when we actually realize the effects of this. So maybe we should focus about, okay, would we implement this in our schools, in our schooling system, and think about it now before it will be implemented, and then think of, okay, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. So that's my 2 cents on the issue.
And I want to add a point to that. It's like if you take children and like teach them like hey, with this I can know if you are focused or what are you doing, like you are like making feel and believe like they are really controlled, like really controlled. So when they grow up, like they will continue feeling like we can control you, so you have to be good, you have to do what we do or what we say, or you have. So it's like a mental chain, maybe this technology is not that but the psychological way that you take these children into a prison, like we can control you, like the government in the future is going to control you, is going to know everything. mm, I don't know, it's I don't feel good with with that.
Mhm. So it seems like there is a consensus in the room that you guys are not liking it. Couple of things I want to say. Like, let's imagine that you guys were not, you guys don't wear. Let's say that I was wearing that, and you can see that I am very concentrated and I'm focused. And would not you want to know that if I am focused with you guys or not? I'm giving you a service here, so look, maybe think about that. Also, with the chip implant, you guys were kind of, at least half of you were okay with that. That okay, that is fine. That is also kind of controlling, but you guys were okay with that. But with this one, there is a consensus you guys are not okay with that. And last thing I want to just reflect on is that you are thinking about the negatives of this thing which children have to wear, but please ask yourself if there is any positive to that. We have heard the negatives, and you are right with the negatives. I'm not disputing them, but just ask yourself, are there any positives to that? So for example, you are at home and you can just look on the app if your child is performing well in the class, are they focused or not, or they are drowsy or something. And when they come, you ask them what is. I think Zora was just about to yawn, but she controlled it. So yeah. So think about these things. Think about these things. Like, the parents can maybe help the maybe help the child to concentrate. Ask them, what is the problem, are you finding any difficulty, or that. Or maybe even for lecturers who are facilitating the class, maybe then also pay more attention to the ones who are having some difficulties. So there are, if you think about it, there are some positives also, but I'm not trying to dispute what you said. What you said is fine, and I'm okay with that. Whatever you want to think, that is your thinking style, and that is perfectly fine. But in that heat of the moment where you are really passionate about this, and you are saying that it's not good and all of that, and I respect that. But in that sentiment, also think about if there is any positive, and then have a balanced type of policy, that how we can balance it out. Like, don't just take it out 100%, and don't just put it in 100%. Find some type of balance, or something like that. What do you guys think about that? Any thoughts, anything you want to say?
Yes,
Eh,
the very, yeah, sorry.
Go,
I
go,
just
go,
wanted
go.
to say the simple thing with the children is, again, if you put the child into the school, they cannot consent to wearing the headpiece. That's the problem. If I put the chip as an adult into my body, it is my decision. I'm able to decide for myself. The child, if you put it into school and make it wear a thing on its head, they cannot consent. It's a very simple issue. If, let's say I have tattoos, I got them because I'm an adult. I want to have them on my body, but I cannot tattoo my child. I can force them to have tattoos because I think it's okay to have tattoos. They can decide when they're an adult. It's the same issue. I think when, let's say, chips are okay, but I cannot force my child to wear a chip when they're a child. When they're an adult, they can make an informed decision for themselves. When they're a child, they cannot make an informed decision, and they cannot see the consequences of being monitored all the time. You see, so that's the bigger issue. There are children who are not able to consent, and that is why it's not okay to put it on their head and make it okay, we are wearing this. That is my opinion, because yes, you say always, oh, you would be okay with the chip. Yes, I would, but I am an adult who can make a decision for themselves. The child cannot simply make the decision. That's all.
And I also think not all the parents are good parents, and it is so creepy to think that maybe some parents will punish for something like don't focus in class. I don't know.
I do agree, but I mean, digitalization in the school is something that is going to happen no matter what. And so I think that, uh, like Tashfin said, like we need to, it's always it's about balance. and it's about always like think about more like how it is going to help the children, it is going to affect in their psychological development. I mean, I don't like it's a tricky question. Like it's complex, but I do believe that it's something that is going to happen. Not in the way that maybe China is doing, but in other ways, like keep monitoring like how a student is doing. Like these days, those things are happening. Like if you go to school and you are behaving bad or not getting good grades, teacher is going to talk to your parents and they are going to do something. So it's in other way, but the digital way. So I don't know. Maybe it's like I said, it's about balance too.
Yeah, it is as Alejandro is saying that it is kind of a tricky question, and other friends have also made the point about the consent and that type of thing. So it's definitely a tricky question, something which we can keep thinking about and see how we can maybe finalize some type of thinking. As we are talking about China, it would be good to continue with that. So we just looked at AI and Europe. The postings are there in your own time. Maybe you can read them and see what is what. I have highlighted the main ones, and then I will continue making some more improvements, make some add-ons, and as I do that, I will tell you also. The next thing is maybe AI and China. Let's look at that. A couple of clips we are going to watch, and then we will have a short discussion.
For decades, facial recognition has been the stuff of science fiction. Well, for many here in China, it's already becoming a part of daily life. Thanks to huge advances in artificial intelligence, people here can use their faces to log into mobile apps, access office buildings, and take money out of ATMs. At this KFC in Beijing, you can even use your face to get meal recommendations. Not all of the applications are so mundane. Police are also using the technology to shame jaywalkers and to scan crowds for persons of interest. A massive centralized database makes it possible for authorities and some private companies to identify nearly anyone by capturing their face. Access to these photos is a boon to companies like search giant Baidu, which is using them to build a range of products.
There is a data set maintained by government. Basically, that means that for almost everyone who has the ID, or everyone over 18 years old, the government will have your face in the database.
Some worry this technology could lead to serious invasions of privacy and make it easier for authorities to track political dissidents. But others see it as a powerful tool for public safety.
Not only helps to track criminals, it also helps find missing people. So it's good for the society.
Facial recognition algorithms are growing exponentially faster and more powerful, thanks to a new technology called deep learning that allows computers to mimic the human brain's ability to learn. That means they can now compensate for problems like low light and bad angles. They can also adjust for age, making it possible to identify adults from their childhood pictures. So how does it work? Using complex algorithms, facial recognition systems start out by identifying all of the faces in a given image. For each face, the algorithm measures out key data points, like the distance between the eyes or the color of the skin. They then use those measurements to create a template that can be compared against templates in a facial database. The more data they have, the better these systems do. Hundreds of millions of social media users here upload photos every day under terms of service that basically allow tech companies to do what they want with the images. Add a vast network of surveillance cameras, and China has lots of data to feed its algorithms. There are 170 million surveillance cameras installed in China, including more than a dozen on this stretch of road behind Beijing's Forbidden City. Annually, China plans to install 450 million new surveillance cameras by the year 2020. The massive market represented by those cameras has attracted interest from established companies and startups alike. At one facial recognition startup, SenseTime, employees' faces are scanned at the door. Inside, the company displays a system that serves up advertisements based on a person's age and gender. At a Nikon, I do like photography. Not unlike the ads in a certain Tom Cruise movie.
You could use a Guinness right about now.
The company also sells more serious tools, capable of tracking both people and objects.
This is a live feed recorded by this camera. It recognizes different attributes of people, a car, or bicycles. This is actually very useful for the police department to extract information from the videos. Basically, it makes the video searchable.
Besides having access to reams of data, companies like SenseTime also benefit from China's relatively casual attitude towards privacy. In a country accustomed to government snooping, many are willing to have their faces scanned for the sake of convenience. A bigger concern is that the systems could be tricked or hacked using fake faces. Critics note that a hacked password can be changed, but everyone has just one face.
If the rectangle is green, that means it is a live people. And if the rectangle is red, it is a attack or hack, actually. When our systems first go online, we do suffer from a huge volume of a huge amount of hack. But by insufficient hack data, I think the machine can tell whether it is a hack behavior or it is a true person.
Facial recognition is just one of several branches of artificial intelligence technologies that have already started to redefine what's possible in China and elsewhere. Of course, just like any technology, it's susceptible to abuse.
You have a very advanced tool, so you could use it to do good things and you could use it to do bad things, but the key is the way you choose.
We will watch one more clip and then have a discussion together.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it, and anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Xiao Wenwang is a model citizen. She lives in Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking. Married with a child, she has a job, time at home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
In theory, everything can be taken into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiao Wenwang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. She'd be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18,000 model citizens. For Xiao Wenwang, there are perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
I get discounts for all public services, even at museums. And the library is free for me, thanks to my score.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to 0. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
Yu Hu is among a tiny minority of people who have dared to criticize the system, which some are calling a digital dictatorship.
I worry, because I think many people like me will be deprived of individual freedoms, and all of us will live with restrictions of one kind or another.
After our meeting, Yu Hu learned that his name had been removed from the blacklist, but he still has a long way to go if he doesn't want to languish at the bottom of the social credit hierarchy.
Yes, very interesting. Two clips. What do you guys take from these interesting insights? Please go ahead.
I think it's horrible. It's like the China government read 1984 and think, oh, Big Brother, it's a good idea. I don't know. It's horrible, I know.
We are trying to think about something positive from that. I understand it can be hard, but try to see. You guys have condemned the Chinese government already in the last discussion. But try to see if there is anything positive. But go ahead, whatever you have to say.
I don't believe there's anything positive. The people are living in a prison, and the Chinese government deserves to be condemned. It's frankly disgusting what we just saw. It's awful, and I don't see many positives, even if there were. I don't know how can I just talk about the positives when I'm seeing horrible, horrible country ruining its citizens and basically enforcing a new way of communism. It's frankly disgusting because I know me coming from a country that was ruled by Communist Party, the effects of communism are very felt in not even today, but with my parents and stuff like that. And I was brought up in a way that it condemns communism and any attacks on personal freedom and infringement of freedom. And the things that are happening in China, it's so awful to me, and it really makes me so upset because, seeing what communism does to people and how it basically ruins their lives and takes away their personal freedom, and basically seeing that happen in a country, but on a bigger, updated scale using AI and other technologies, it's very horrible and it's very saddening. And that's what I was basically talking about, the system before now we watch the clips, but yeah, that was what I was talking about. I don't know what positives do you see, but be free to tell me that, okay, I'm free and open to talk about them, but I really cannot see any positives there. No positives, because trying to change the behavior of people is not okay in any way or shape or form. Forcing them to change their behavior, it's not encouraging them to change their behavior, it is forcing them to be a model citizen. So what are the positives? I would really like to know your point of view.
Yes, definitely. Alejandro and Miguel, I'm sure they are going to identify a couple of positives. So let's see what they have to say. Please go ahead, guys.
I mean, if you want to incentivize people to do good stuff, like there are many other ways. Like if you want to reward people for giving blood or for I don't know, like helping in ONGs or whatever, there are ways to do that. But like, how can you give a punish to people that talks bad about the government? Like the government is, maybe you are not agree with the things that they do or they say, like how can they punish you for do that kind of stuff, or how can they punish to buy for you for buying things? If I mean, if I know tobacco is bad, but tobacco it's the choice of people. I mean, no one is I don't know, like how can they blame a lifestyle, you know, like or the things that you post in your social media? It's too much. Like I do believe that I can take these things so motivate people doing good stuff for others or helping the community and giving points to them, but I don't see the point to in the bad, like don't give the people to the chance to get public transport because they have a low score. It's just unbelievable.
A very good insight into that. As Alejandro is saying that yes, these things which they are doing, like giving blood, no debt, uh, people following rules of the road, don't choose maybe cigarettes and beer, choose water and nappies, those type of things. Public transport using bus, they were giving half ticket museum, half ticket libraries free for people who are behaving in the way the government wants them to behave. One point is that you can always argue that what government is doing is right or wrong. That is perfectly fine. Of course, they are doing some things which maybe are not very democratic, and they are not a democratic society also. But they are, as Alejandro is saying, they want people to behave in a certain way which suits them. So they are using this technique. But Alejandro is also saying that there are other techniques to do similar type of things. Uh, Going back to the facial recognition one, that was quite interesting. Facial recognition in a crowd. It is not just about the recognition of the face, but also recognition of other objects like bicycles, like cars. If something is stolen, how to identify those things, how to keep track of, for example, COVID-19. If some people are, they know that these people have COVID-19 now. If they see them anywhere where they are not supposed to be, they can identify them and maybe do something. So facial recognition the technology has some benefits also, but again, AI, it is how you will use it. And I think Alejandro has said it very nicely that these things which they are doing, maybe they are good things, but there are other ways to accomplish the same target. Let me take Miguel. Yes, Miguel, you are. What are your points? How do you
Yeah, I
view
mean,
all the situation?
I think that it's not the technology itself, it's like you use it. And I mean,
Yeah.
okay, China is using it bad, but they are like helping to develop technology, and they are like investigating and developing that kind of things. They are using it bad, but I mean, it's like they are helping technology grow too. And for example, the bands that track your focus, if you don't use it to control kids and you are an athlete or something and you want to train your focus while you are making your sport, maybe it can be a good thing. It's like not about the technology itself, it's like we use it, I think. I can hear you.
We can't hear you, Tashin.
Like you are muted or something.